It was like kind of all ninja on him.
Yep.
He's like, I'm sorry, that is the old me. That I thought that was a really funny part. The audience burst out laughing.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to talk about was
What?
a flashback in the beginning of the movie about how Sam and Carly met, and in the White House, Sam got his medal there, and when Sam was, they showed a picture of Sam shaking Obama's hand, and he had this funny face on. It was funny.
It
And
didn't
then,
even look like Sam.
and then the way that he um, talked to Carly for the first time was so not like the
Character.
first movie. Yeah,
He was like out of character. Yeah, he was like what? Like, yeah, I saved the world a couple times, you know.
Yes, that was
Like
definitely
bragging
out of
about his
character for him.
medal.
So back to where we were. The Russians end up talking to him about the space race and all that stuff, and so and then that ends up leading to the highway battle,
which was a very good sequence.
I that was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, like Megatron's dreads came, and basically the dreads, if you haven't seen the movie, are like the animal type, fierce people, robot things
that have dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's why they're called the dreads, like this.
And then so the dreads are chasing, Bumblebee, Dino, Sideswipe, Sam and Simmons and Dutch.
Yep.
And he ends up, I believe it was Crankcase was the one that transformed, took Simmons, threw him out of the car.
And somehow he only got away from that with a broken leg.
Yeah,
and
then Dutch said, "Oh, I'm so fired."
Yeah.
And then they ended up crashing into the highway sign, made a ramp. That was pretty cool.
Bumblebee transformed.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Caught Sam slow motion. That was so awesome.
And then so after that, they get off the highway, and then Ironhide comes, rams into two of the dreads, nearly kills him. And then Ironhide comes out like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then the dreads are all bleeding and everything. And then they have a Mexican standoff, as Sideswipe called it.
Yep.
Drop all their weapons. Of course, the Decepticons are cheaters, and they have other
like,
stuff.
Like melee
spike things. And then, so... I'll show this picture. And then, so after that, they end up killing the dreads. That was a really cool scene.
So anyway, after all that happens, they get back to the Nest HQ, and they reveal the information that they learned, and they say that the Decepticons will probably be looking for Sentinel because he's the key to the whole thing.
Well, that was actually before the highway scene happened. It was Sam called Charlotte Meering. And then, okay. Well, anyway, I'm looking at my notes here the whole time.
Yeah.
So Sam ended up calling Charlotte, and that's the whole chase happened.
Okay.
So, and then after that, we go back to outside of what looks like to be Nest, and Ironhide ends up getting killed by Sentinel.
Yeah.
Very emotional scene.
That's actually when Sentinel finds out that he's the key, and he made.
Well, he actually knew that he was the key.
He knew, but
no one else knew he was the key.
And once he got exposed, he betrayed everyone.
And then of course, I think the reason that he killed Ironhide was because he was kind of like the second in command.
Yeah, like first to Optimus.
And then he used his rust gun. He wasted away, so Optimus cannot use the Matrix to revive him. For all the people that are wondering out there, it cannot happen. Ironhide will not be revived. Sad to say. I don't think enough time was spent with Ironhide's death.
No, it was just real quick. He just rusted, accelerated leprosy or something,
Because of his rust gun.
Yeah.
Because it just went really quick. And then right after that, Sam goes to see his parents, and they kind of ruined the whole mood. I thought with the they end up trying to be funny and stuff. I was like, no, Ironhide died, and all of a sudden they start laughing.
Yeah, I think they tried to get a comedy relief in there, but it didn't really work out.
No. But one of the very small details I didn't like. I love the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then, so after that, they're in D.C. near the Pentagon and the White House and all that.
Megatron walks up, and Megatron goes and he sits on Lincoln's chair after he blows it up.
Yeah. Lincoln Memorial is no more.
Yeah. And so then like everyone's coming in and trying to stop Sentinel from activating all the pillars, in DC, but it's too late.
And all the Decepticons awake on the moon.
Yeah.
One question I do have, which no one's able to answer, is why are there so many Decepticons on the moon?
I don't know.
That was never explained. It wasn't explained in the
it was
novel
only
either.
one ship, right? Or
yeah, and that was an Autobot ship.
Yeah, so
that's something that maybe in a director's commentary later that we'll find out.
maybe.
And so Optimus ends up trying to get the Sentinel. Sentinel nearly kills him, and he ends up deciding to spare his life, and calls him weak and all that stuff. And then, so after that, Sam hurries up and goes to Dylan's party where Carly is. They get in the Mercedes that Dylan gave her previously in the movie.
It turns out to be.
And it turns out to be a Soundwave.
Yep.
And this is the one part where I didn't like her acting.
Yeah. I didn't really notice it all that much though, when she was freaking out in the car.
Yeah. At the first showing, it's kind of like so much going on. It's like, oh my goodness. So it does. But the second time I saw it, I was looking at it. I was like, she could have done better.
Yeah.
Because when Soundwave was like picking at her hair and stuff. But that was the one complaint I had about her acting. Otherwise, I think she did better than Megan Fox. I'm sorry, Megan Fox lovers out there.
But Carly should have yelled no 3 times.
Not really. Okay.
It's my corny joke of the day, guys. And cut out.
And then so after that we they put a watch on Sam. It's like a Decepticon. Whatever he sees or hears, they see. Autobots end up being exiled.
Yeah, and
that's we first see the Wreckers.
No, they were there before.
But we see the Wreckers when they're preparing the ship, I believe. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then so I thought they were really cool. I'm a big NASCAR fan, for those who don't know.
I'm not.
So I would have loved to have Jeff Gordon in there, but no, they had to use Dale Jr. So I'm getting off topic. So they go and they're boarding the Xanthium, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Bumblebee and Sam say goodbye.
And then they're playing a kind of a saddened version of Arrival to Earth in the first movie. Great score.
Mm-hmm.
And then so
the ship takes off and it blows up in the sky.
By Starscream.
What was Starscream?
Yeah, Starscream was the one that shot them.
So, yeah.
And then a lot of people are saying, oh, this kind of looks like the Challenger. It doesn't look like the Challenger, people.
It doesn't.
And then, so, after that, look in here, the ship explodes. Alright, so this is the point where they begin their assault on Chicago. And a lot of people were saying that this was kind of rushed. It was daylight, and then they said, begin our attack or whatever, and it was nighttime. I thought it was actually pretty cool though.
Yeah, it was like it went from daytime to like dusk. It wasn't nighttime; it was just dusk.
Yeah, it was like about to be night.
Yeah, but it added to all the ambience of the invasion, in my opinion.
By the time they showed the assault happening, it was pretty much already happened. It was everyone, all the Decepticons were there.
Yeah.
And then, so after that. Such small writing here on my notes.
So, they...
Alright, so then Sam and Epps and a bunch of
all the freedom fighter
guys.
Bunch
of Epps' friends go to Chicago.
And... No, it wasn't Chicago.
Go to Chicago, yeah. The whole fight was in Chicago.
I thought it was a different city that they were in.
No, they were in Chicago. Alright, so anyway, then...
Like, they try to get into the Decepticons' main HQ in Chicago.
And then this was the part where a couple of, like a Decepticon came and shot at some people and a skull came rolling out the screen. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Autobots come, Optimus shoots down one of the flying ships.
Then does his little melee spin thing with all his sword and...
The Wreckers come and they disable the Decepticon in the ship.
Yep.
And then they have their little meeting where Optimus is ticked off, and
Yeah.
Probably because of Ironhide's death.
Probably.
I hope. And then I like to believe that. And then
So then Bumblebee
this is
has
the fun
to
part.
fly one of the turret ships, and Sam's asking Bumblebee if he can, and Bee's like, eh, so. Yeah.
And he sounds like, "Oh, I don't feel safe for you saying so."
Yeah. that was a fun part.
That was one of the more funny parts in the movie.
Yeah.
Again, another laugh from the crowd in the theater there. And then so they get in the ship, and then they go to where Dylan is. Sam goes in with a gun, and he points it at him. And then Laserbeak transforms
and basically carries him off the
drops
building.
him off the building. He did not look to see if anything was below him.
Yep.
Which was kind of stupid.
And then one of the things that they do in a lot of movies, the hero falls, then slowly rises up on the ship.
Yeah,
you know?
That's classic.
Yeah.
And then so Bumblebee's flying that. Carly ends up jumping onto it, and she ends up getting upset with Bumblebee. Laserbeak tries to attack Sam.
Sam kills Laserbeak.
Kind of. Yeah, he puts his head in front of the shooting bullets to Bumblebee, because technically Bumblebee did. They both did.
Yeah.
And then,
it was a team effort.
And then I thought this was funny. No one else really thought it was funny, but it was when Bumblebee and Carly were inside of the ship, and and Bumblebee had this look on his face like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, Bumblebee was like,
they were both nervous and everything. They ended up crashing the ship.
Yeah.
And then after that, they end up going with Epps, Hardcore Eddie, and all of them, the soldiers, into the building
to get
to shoot down the pillars.
Yeah, a good shot for the RPG.
And then that was a really cool scene. It was the building was all CGI, which was great. And then the driller ends up coming, and then Optimus swoops in.
Does that little slow motion, and then he ends up he defeats the driller there.
The driller, and then Shockwave sees Optimus
and tangles him in wires.
He